Shalom. This is like school universal practical knowledge. It's like it come out 1 West, 125th Street, home, New York. Our command 9. We've been teaching blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians that we are the 12 tribes of Israel. I'm saying out of the Holy Bible. I'm saying that we are the Lord's chosen people, that we're supposed to be, holding ourselves at a higher standard. And of course, this man that has been oppressing us for 400 plus years. I'm saying the same man that sits there and guns us down in his streets, same one that forced us into reservations and the barrios, is nothing more than the devil that the Bible speaks of. Saying that for today's class, we're going to be going into the curses of Deuteronomy. I'm saying we're just going to be feeding the land of New Mexico, some milk scriptures. I'm saying breaking all the lies that the Christian church has taught us since, we were goddamn babies. I'm saying all the lies that our grandmothers and aunties and uncles have taught us. Saying because one thing that they have always taught us, that doesn't match up with this Bible right here is, of course, that, the Lord loves everybody, that he cares for everybody. I'm saying he's all loving, when this book right here teaches us that the Lord is a man of war. I'm saying this book right here teaches us that the Lord only gives a damn about blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So we're going to be starting in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27 and verse 1. Saying let everybody get there, let you share the class to any platform you see fit. And then we'll go ahead and get started. Well, I got to share class a couple more times, and we're going to get into it. Our book of Deuteronomy, chapter 27 and verse 1. And Moses, with the elders of Israel, commanded the people. So Moses, he was the righteous man, keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments, that was put in charge of the nation of Israel, back when we were slaves underneath the Africans. And this can give us a perfect example of what we should be looking into the leaders today. For instance, all these men that Moses gathered up under him, all these elders, he himself, these brothers, they care deeply for their people, for our people, for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So for those of us that are going out and looking for leadership from these religious leaders, like these Christian leaders, in Islam and spirituality, medicine men, whatnot, whatever your preference is for a religious leader. We can truly tell that these people don't really give a damn about us, because if that was the case, for how long Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians have been following, these so-called leaders, have been following their way of life, their philosophies, their ideals. Us as a nation, we should not be in the state we're in today. We shouldn't be living in the ghettos, in New Mexico, in the ghettos of, California, New York, Cincinnati, Louisville, Detroit, Boston, all these different places across the country. We're always living in the worst possible conditions, in the worst places you could possibly imagine. When, if what these people speak is true about them truly caring for our people, truly caring about the Black community, the Hispanic community, Native Indian community, then our nation, we would not be in the state that we're in and that we've been in since we've been out of slavery. They would care more about, just the lives of the people than they would individuals in the communities that give their last dollar, because they think that, by doing so, the Lord is going to bless them. By doing so, this so-called leader is going to look out for them, down the line when they fall on hardships. Which a lesson we should have learned a long time ago. Just because these so-called leaders sit there and they spat out, loving everybody, lend to your neighbor, it don't mean that they follow it. It don't mean that they truly give a damn about you. A majority of Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians in, all these religions, following all these people that we see as being high and mighty and somebody that can, get us out of the condition that we're in, even if it's not specifically us, but, future generations. Even though we view these people as being such, they've never truly showed that they give a damn about us. But you can go and you can look at their works, their actions. You can see where they truly only care about themselves. Care about ensuring that their children have a better future, even if it means destroying their own nation, which is something that has been going on since slave times. But at the end of the day, the true leaders of Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, those that actually put their lives on the line for their people, those that will give their last penny and do give their last pennies for their people, You know what I'm saying? Those that teach their people right from wrong rather than just spatting nonsense. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this work since 1969. You know what I'm saying? To simply put it, the only, men that are fit to lead our people, just like Moses and all these mighty men he gathered up under him, it's the ISUPK under Commander Juliana. You know what I'm saying? To simply put it, I'm saying it's as plain as day. I'm saying because you can go and you can look at the works of our organization, of this organization since 1969, and you can see how it is that we've helped our communities, our people. Command the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. And so a true leader of the people is going to take authority, over the nation. They're going to let you know, hey, you're fucking up. You're not doing this right. You're not doing that right. You're chasing after your lustful desires in order for you to just get, some type of pleasure out of this world. You're going out and you're getting high. You're making whores out of women. You're being a homosexual. You're eating pork, crab, shrimp, lobster. And when you're doing these things, you are hurting our nation. A true leader lets the people know where it is that they are truly, going wrong. A true leader will teach the people morality, what it is they should and shouldn't be doing. They'll teach you how to go about doing certain things. But the leaders today in every community across, America, whether it's Canada, United States, Mexico, or Slovakia, South America, Slovakia. These leaders, they don't truly teach our people, which is why we're doing such wicked and vile things throughout all the land. Slovakia. We're going to go to Deuteronomy 28:1. And a very important thing to note is, all these men that Moses gathered up, these men that were truly fit to be leaders, they were of the nation of Israel. They were blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They weren't another nation. They weren't the governing body of another people. Because you can't turn to another nation and expect for them to simply give a damn about you, to try to help your people out when they got to worry about their own, which is something that we have to, realize as a nation. Which it is very important for us to realize as a nation. Because we've been turning to our enemy, ever since we were slaves. Asking them to help us do this, do that. Oh, you got to help us get freedom. You got to, you got to make us equal to you. You got to give us a right to vote. You got to stop killing us in the streets. All these different things. We end up going to these other people expecting them to be our leaders. When just a straight up reality check, these other nations, they don't give a damn about us. They never have, they never will. All of our people up in arms trying to vote for the next oppressor over us and the next upcoming, United States election. Niggas want to slack in my language. They want to make sure that every black, Hispanic, and Native Indian votes for, I don't know, Bernie Sanders. Is because they think he's gonna do right by them. And when no, you know what I'm saying, foreign president has ever helped a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. They've never helped our communities. You know what I'm saying? Us as a whole, they've never helped us. And that's something that us as a nation, we have to just simply get in our heads. Every other nation, they realize these things. They can accept that you got to go to your own for leadership, for guidance, for protection. But yet we're the only nation that will sit there and say to hell with all that. You know what I'm saying? We're all about becoming one with everybody. I'm saying join hand in hand with this man and that woman to ensure the betterment of our nation. I'm saying when it's simply not the case. You know what I'm saying? It's as simple as that. That's the best way to put it. And we'll let everybody get to Deuteronomy 28:1 real quick. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass. I'm saying, meaning a time will come if thou shalt not diligently slack. If thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God. Saying so if us as a nation, if we listen to what the Lord has told us to do, which is in this book right here. I'm saying not only listen, but do it to just the highest extent that without a doubt, us as a nation, we could never stray away from what the Lord told us to do. You know what I'm saying? Practice it so slacky. Practice it to such an extreme, extent that without a doubt, I'm saying the Lord is gonna do this for us. To observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. And so like we just went over, I'm saying if we stick to doing these just to such an extreme extent, I'm saying that the Lord is gonna do, I'm saying, something wonderful for our nation. And it's not just our people in the past, because Christians, they like to say, oh well, the law is done away with. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gotta keep the laws anymore. Christ died so that we could sit there and get high and eat pork and be homosexuals, and women can be equal and be whores and get abortions and whatnot. But it says to slack and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't just something that's happened in the past. You know what I'm saying? But till this day, we've got to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. I'm saying till this day, we've got to stop doing all this wickedness that we've been doing as a nation for the past 400 years. And saying things ain't changed just because it's the 21st century. I'm saying we like to think that things are different because it's 2020. So we like to think that the mentality of people is changed and this and that, when people, they just remain the same. Our oppressor, he still oppresses us. He still pushes his philosophies and ideals onto us as a nation. And saying these other nations, they still hate us just like our oppressor does. So if these people can never change, why is it that the Lord would change? That the Lord, thy God, will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. So, our people, I'm saying we always have big dreams of being, rich and famous and having this type of car and those shoes and all these women and so on and so forth. But if we stuck to keeping these commandments, what the Lord would do for us as a nation, it would go beyond that. I'm saying, so instead of us being worried about, the simple materialistic things, I'm saying the Lord is going to give us enough substance to benefit our future generations. I'm saying our great, 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 and so on and so forth, grandchildren. I'm saying we'll have lands, we'll have, our own livestock, our own crops. I'm saying our own businesses, our own abundance of wealth. I'm saying you'll have as many wives as you want. You'll have as many children as you please. I'm saying if you want fancy cars to be driving around the kingdom in, if you want a castle, I'm saying so on and so forth. Should if we simply keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, you'll get any and everything. I'm saying to your, to the fullest of your imagination. Saying as long as it's, lawful and in the eyes of the Lord. I'm saying you can't, once you get to the kingdom, you can't sit there and try. When you get to the kingdom, when you get all these wives, that don't mean you can just use and abuse them. You can't just hate your brother and do as you please. You gotta stick to what the Lord told us to do as a nation. I'm gonna reread that last part for you. That the Lord, thy God, will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. And so it lets us know that we are not going to be just equal to, anybody on this earth. I'm saying we're not supposed to want to be equal to our oppressor. We're not supposed to want to be equal to an African, to an Asian, to an Arab. I'm saying we're supposed to want to be more than these people. I'm saying more than they've showed us that they could ever be. That's a big thing plaguing our people is wanting to be equal to every other nation on the face of this earth. When damn well that by doing so, it's not going to benefit us in any type of way. I'm saying it's not going to help out our future generations. No matter how much we spew out nonsense about unity among all people. I'm saying, but everything that we sit there and we bring out about, helping the Black community, Hispanic or Native Indian community, how it is that we can get on top, I'm saying, get up off the bottom. Shoot, the answer is simply in this book right here. I'm saying? All we gotta do is keep the law, statutes, and commandments. And shoot, by doing so, shit, the Lord told you. I'm saying? He'll put us on high above all these other people. We're going to go ahead and go to verse 15. Give you a second to get there. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Okay, so you don't have to look, very far in our own communities to see, how it is that our nation is all the lands of America. You know what I'm saying? You can go to any ghetto, any reservation, any barrio, and you can clearly see, to where us as a nation, like we are just the lowest, people in society. You can see where we are targeted for, murders, targeted to be imprisoned. I'm saying you can see where, us as a nation, we're all around, we're living in poverty, even when it's compared to, these people that come overseas on boats. I'm saying they have nothing when they first get here, but then with some type of, benefit to the nation. I'm saying it's not only, poverty and what's going on in our own communities, because we can live anywhere in America. You know what I'm saying? In any city in the United States, you don't have to be in a ghetto. You know what I'm saying? You could be, in the upper class of a certain area, you know what I'm saying, the middle class. And yet us as a nation, we still get profiled. You know what I'm saying? We still get targeted and by being profiled and targeted, you know what I'm saying, we always end up being afflicted by these other nations. whether it's being, murdered by police, saying being beaten by them, harassed by them, saying so on and so forth. And these are curses that were put onto our people for defying the Lord. You know what I'm saying? That's just the bare minimum of it. And we can go into, all the drug dealing, you know what I'm saying, prostitution, the molestations, and rapes and kidnappings, and it just goes on and on. But one thing that our nation doesn't realize, due to the faulty leadership of these so-called religious leaders, these so-called government officials supposed to look out for our people, and just celebrities people look up to, due to them not showing the correct leadership, we don't really know how it is we're supposed to be living our lives. We don't know why it is that we are having all these things happen to us as a nation, when, shoot, all you gotta do is ask, I'm saying, a priest, an officer, hell, even, a trooper in the ISUPK, and they can, plain as day, let you know why it is our people are in the state that we're in today, why we've been in the state that we've been in, for the past 400 years. Saying it's really simple. It is so simple that a child could understand it. I'm saying it's because we don't keep the laws, statutes, and commandments that the Lord gave us as a nation. And as we just read, because of that, the Lord has put curses on us as a people, until we decide to come back to following the Lord. We're going to go down to verse 16. Give you a hot second to get there. All right, we're going to get into it. Verse 16, cursed shall thou be in the city. And so we've already went over, briefly, one of these curses that our people are suffering from, especially in the cities. I'm saying you can look at all the poverty it is that our people are going through. I'm saying in the ghettos, because at the end of the day, whether you are Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian, you're gonna wind up in the ghettos. So there might be one or two that get up out of there. They might be middle class, well kept. How it is that we've got, all these drugs and drug dealers running rampant, throughout our communities. Saying how it is that we've all got these just run down and dingy homes due to the lack of funding, not only from what's supposed to be our government, but, what it ultimately boils down to is the lack of funding from our so-called leaders. The lack of funding from, our own community. Because at the end of the day, all the money that we sit there and we pump into, these churches, I'm saying these religious establishments, to all these businesses and different organizations, and, just the businesses just of America in general, if we focus that on our own people, saying focus that on getting the drugs out of our own communities, on stopping, the prostitution and murders and all these different things that contribute, to our people being in poverty. I'm saying? We focus more on our own than us as a whole. I'm saying? As just a people, we could truly come up out of, the economic state that we're in today. Say, for instance, the city of, Albuquerque, they're sitting there and they are starting to demolish what they call problem properties. It's lucky, which is basically, run down homes. I'm saying? Places that really nobody has lived in for, a little while. Places that might attract a little bit of petty crime here or there. You know what I'm saying? And some that residents have, above all, stated is just an eyesore to them. And so the city of Albuquerque is simply, tearing down these homes. And we all know the people that live in most of these homes. I'm saying, because right now it's just abandoned homes. I'm saying it's those homes that nobody, can really live in at the moment. But once, the governing body in Albuquerque gets a little more, push behind what it is that they're doing, they're going to start moving into, the ghettos. They're going to start tearing down, a lot of homes that our people live in, homes that they don't, deem fit is being, I should say, livable, being houseable, knowing damn well that, people have been living in there for 40, 50 years. And they're going to start gentrifying our neighborhoods more and more as they do this, and as they get more, they get more support behind what it is that they're doing, claiming that it's for the better of the community. So, which, hey, don't get me wrong, it's for the better of the community, but not our community. It's for the betterment of their communities, of white and African and Asian communities. Which that's one thing us as a nation, we got to get in our heads, is that, no matter how much we think that we are part of America's society, I'm saying, if they welcome us with open arms and all this other nonsense, at the end of the day, these people are just going to look to better their own. And you can look across any city, I'm saying, in the United States, and you can see where at first, they were tearing down these abandoned homes, and saying and then it moves into gentrifying our own neighborhoods, into running us out of town, and to cramming us into smaller sections of the cities, saying eventually pushing us to the outskirts. Saying this is a common tactic of war by our oppressor, which is, it's something that, our people, we got to get more in the mentality of is realizing tactics. You know what I'm saying? Knowing what it is that our enemy does in order for him to conquer another nation or get what it is that he needs from another group of people. Instead of us just having this, loving everybody mindset, having this joining hand in hand mindset. Because poverty that's just one of the few curses that is plaguing our people. So another big thing is, of course, the police brutality that is going on in our communities, going on in these cities. So you can turn on the news every day to where you see Black, Hispanic, or Native was, murdered in cold blood by some white police officer or by some, officer of our nation that is looking to get some type of acceptance out of his, Caucasian partner. Slocky. I'm gonna read that from the top. Cursed shall thou be in the city. So when it involves, all this police brutality and all these murders by, these different officers, it's something that should never come as a shock to our people, for the simple fact that, those that have some type of, authority in the United States, government, whether it's a cop, I'm saying, a military officer, I'm saying, I don't know, a judge or a president, especially presidents. These people, they always find a way to, find a reason to kill us. You know what I'm saying? To murder us in the streets. I'm saying, and if not, murder us, then to simply just lock us up, make us part of their little prison slave force, or just milk as much money they can out of us. I'm saying, until we come up out of there and we're poor. I'm saying, but for instance, recently, I'm saying, in the city there was a brother. I'm saying, a Hispanic brother that was pulled over by police for, being suspected of being, intoxicated while driving. Say they ran all this brother's information. I'm saying they were trying to give him tests. They, observed the brother and everything. But eventually what ended up happening was this brother ended up fleeing from the police on foot while intoxicated. I'm saying he was trying to run away. I'm saying the cops were failing to apprehend the brother. And what eventually happened was one of the officers ended up tasing this brother to death. I'm saying this brother that was 40 years old. I'm saying I believe his name was Antonio. I think it was Valenzuela. I believe that's how you say it. I'm saying, but this brother, he was fleeing for his life from these men that are, it's like men and women that are supposed to, serve and protect, the people in our communities. When there's going to be a lot of sellouts and devils and other heathens that, try to justify the death of this brother, saying, oh, well, if he did nothing wrong, he shouldn't have ran. You know what I'm saying? Should did this, should did that, so on and so forth. But one thing that these people don't realize is that growing up, in America, growing up amongst our oppressor and being influenced by him and seeing what it is that he does to our nation, you can't help but to have a certain type of fear when when these armed men pull up on you and just start grilling you on questions, and they try to get you so that you're in a vulnerable position, especially knowing their history, knowing how it is that they've oppressed our people. I'm saying, knowing how it is that for 400 years they've been murdering us, how they gun us down no matter if we, cooperate or not. I'm saying there's a certain type of fear that you get when you come across, those that just simply want you dead at the end of the day. To simply put it, saying which our oppressor having his people keep, the call the minorities in check. And cursed shall thou be in the field. It's lucky. And so one thing our people will sit there and try to point out is, oh, it's 2020. We ain't slaves in the field anymore. You know what I'm saying? We live in the cities. We can go to all these businesses and get as we please and whatnot. But at the end of the day, with this push that is going to be to simply gentrify our neighborhoods, I'm saying with them, doing all this demolition and confiscating of what they call problem properties, eventually they're going to have to move, all those black and brown faces that they don't want to see every day. They're going to have to move them, somewhere that they don't have to see them every day. And to simply put it, that's going to be on the outskirts of the cities. Simply, in the fields. We're going to be trying to rummage up what it is that we can in order to survive out there. You know what I'm saying? Doing all types of wickedness, trying to get what it is that we need to survive. Saying, for instance, which is a great example, especially with how close, Albuquerque is to the Navajo Nation, or, really any reservation, any city that's close to any reservation, for those that know what is going on inside reservations, those are brothers and sisters that are, cursed out in the fields. I'm saying they got literally nothing. I'm saying they are living in rundown homes that don't have any heat. I'm saying no cooling. They got wild animals, including, packs of dogs running around everywhere, got debris all over, the property, struggling to just get by off of what it is that they got and whatever work it is that they can find. And when reality, when you're driving through these reservations and you take a second and actually look at these communities you're passing through, whether it's considered a town, or what they call a city, you can't help but to think of, for instance, the main thing I thought of was one of those countries in the Middle East that was bombed out by the U.S. You could just see how destroyed, their cities were, how it didn't look like, really they could rebuild, make any comeback. You saw how poor and deprived the people were. That's what a reservation will remind you of, is a nation that has been bombed out by another one. Which that's some that we don't really, pay attention to as a nation, because we're taught to just worry about ourselves. We're gonna go to verse 23. All right, we're not getting into it. All right, verse 23. And thy heaven that is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thy feet, Slakia, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. And so this specifically about how our people would be, thrown into all these different prison systems, all these different jail cells. Whether it's from, when we were slaves up until today. And our enemy has always used, bondage as a way to control us as a nation. Obviously, back in slave days, we already know that they, had us in bondage, that they'd keep us in, these different cells. If we acted out, if we were good, obedient slaves, they'd allow for us to roam around in fear on their plantation. But Just because it's, you know, 2020, just because slavery is supposed to be abolished and we're all supposed to be free and equal, you know what I'm saying? Don't let any of that fool you. Because you can do any type of research on prison, on the prison system in America, and you can see where our people are blatantly used as slaves. How we're used to manufacture all these different types of goods inside of prison. Saying how we are used for damn near free labor inside of prisons. It's lucky. I'm saying, and when that huge fire that was going on in California, I believe what was that, like a year ago? I'm saying they were using like Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian prisoners to fight those fires. I'm saying these men that were untrained, that had no type of experience, and were only getting paid, I believe it was like 13 to 20 cents, something like that, an hour in order to fight these fires. That is legitimately slave labor. And that is something that has been incorporated since they abolished slavery. Because after they abolished slavery of all of our people, supposedly, then that's when the chain gangs and all these bounty hunters started emerging, and they just go around collecting every Black, Hispanic, and Native that they could in order to produce all this free labor that America needed. So not only is it slave labor, but our oppressor always does the craftiest things to try to get us into his slave force. For instance, let's say you get pulled over for having saying the next thing you know, officers are asking you to step out of the car. Saying they say they smelled some type of illegal substance, or you seemed like you were under some type of influence, and then all of a sudden you emerge with either drugs or a firearm in your vehicle, with you not knowing how it was that got there. Those are common types of tactics used in order to try to get as many Blacks, Hispanics, and natives behind bars as possible. And I know specifically another tactic that they are about to incorporate in Albuquerque, that they've done in the past, and that they've obviously done all throughout the U.S., is they're starting to do what the hell's that called? It's a gun buyback program, which basically you bring in firearms, and the government will buy them back from you. But the goal of doing this is to retrieve firearms that they suspect have been stolen, or that they suspect have been used in a crime in the past. So when you sit there, you turn your firearm in, I'm saying, you're sitting there, you waiting for it to be processed and everything. And then all of a sudden you get swooped up by, 3 or 4 devils. And then before you know it, you're winding up in the prison system. Because they told you, oh, your gun, it was used in a crime. You know what I'm saying? It was reported stolen, this and that. You know what I'm saying? These are, you know, tactics that have, you know, been used to certain degrees and certain varieties. You know what I'm saying? These people have always made sure to, you know, put certain type of twists or turns on some that should be straightforward, but you know, really is a crafty ploy to get more of our people behind bars. You know what I'm saying? They want our people behind bars so much that they're contributing, you know what I'm saying, $75,000 in order to, you know, buy back as many weapons as possible. And us living in poverty for so long, saying looking for any type of hustle, we'll be like, oh well shoot. I'm saying that's the easy way to get money. To get in a easy couple of, I'm saying, I don't know, 50, $100, $125. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. Not knowing that we are actually falling into the trap of our oppressor. And then not to mention, you know, by them looking to lock more of us up as a people, you know, it was recently brought out how, you know, the prisons have been overcrowded for, you know what I'm saying, decades in Albuquerque. How it is that, you know, the prisons have been underfunded, such as, you know, getting resources for the prisoners. You know what I'm saying? Necessities in order for our people to survive. How it is that guards don't have proper training on how it is to handle a convict. And, you know, proper funding on overall, you know, maintenance of facilities. Be rehabilitated from whatever crime it is we committed, whatever, you know, whatever it is that we've done. And really, you know, we're just going to just another form of, you know, just straight up brutal hell. You know what I'm saying? To be living in. I'm saying we go from poverty to even extremer poverty. And then when you go to that, you know, just that you take that extra step to that lower poverty, you know, you'll do some drastic things to try to get up out of it, to try to, you know, ease the burdens and the pains. Which is why you can go to, you know, go to the internet and you can look up, you know, all these super poor and underfunded and undertrained, you know, all these different things. You can look them up in the prison system, and you can see where, you know, all these inmates are just living in complete hell. You know what I'm saying? Where really is just inmates left to fend for themselves inside these prison systems. Really, the only time they have interaction with a guard is if it's for a guard to simply abuse them. You know what I'm saying? To torture them mentally and physically. You know what I'm saying? To break them down, shoot, even more than they've already been destroyed. So all you gotta do is look at the prisons in South America. Same, for instance. Saying the prisons in Venezuela and Brazil. You know what I'm saying? Mexico. I'm saying you can see the path that it is that our people in the United States are, going down. Slovakia. I'm going to go to verse 32. And so whenever, our people sit there and resist out of fear of not only what it is that our oppressor will do to us, I'm saying, then and there, but it's the fear of, going through that hell in these prison systems. So that brother that was intoxicated, Antonio, that tried to run from the cops, I'm saying, he simply did that out of fear of our oppressor, out of fear of what would happen to him, not only then and there, but what will happen to him when he actually gets inside of prison. Which, sad to say, that is a an outcome that has happened to so many brothers and sisters in our nation, which is why it's so important for a true leader to teach our people to simply fear the Lord. Saying if we feared the Lord, we wouldn't have to worry about being busted on drug charges, about getting DUIs, having illegal gun possessions, for stealing or murdering. I'm saying all these different things that our people get busted for. If we just had the proper leadership, we wouldn't have to worry about any of that. Which is why it's so important for our people to come into this truth right here. I'm saying, into the ISUBK under Command General Yana. Because that's, at the end of the day, that is the only way that we won't have to suffer under these curses anymore. So I'll let everybody get to verse 32 though. Slovakia. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. So this can be something that's not only, physical, but it can also go into being, something that is mental. For instance, since birth, our children are taught to, love and accept everybody. And so not only by their parents, but especially when they get into the schooling system, they are taught to, truly lay their lives on the line for our oppressor. To truly sit there and turn their backs on our nation as a whole. For instance, I know specifically in New Mexico, when they teach about the conquistadors, coming and conquering Native and Hispanics, they end up painting these pictures. It's like they end up painting these devils, these people in such a light that our children can't help but to accept them. So they'll bring in some devil that is dressed up as a conquistador, full beard and everything, looking all dirty and dingy. And, he'll sit there and he'll play with the kids. He'll speak to them. He'll just do everything in his power to, to drill that idea into their heads that, these people that committed these atrocities, they ain't bad. And the descendants of these people, they ain't bad. So, them by them doing this, which it's been stated that, like the Hispanics, that feel a connection to these people because, they speak Spanish, so some Hispanics, they think that, oh, well, we must be one people. So that ends up driving a wedge between Hispanics and natives. That strife between our people. And, instead of, parents simply correcting the lies that have been told to their babies, their children, they simply just go along with it. They allow for their children to grow up to hate their brothers, their sisters, to hate their, their own tribe. And it's not just, a mental thing that is done to our people, but, you can look up all the cases of not only schools sitting there and lying on, Hispanic or Native households, saying a child is being abused to where the child is just snatched away from their parents so they can be further, brainwashed and being abused further. But it's also just, CPS as a whole. These people, they ensure to target, their cities, or really minority of those all throughout the United States. And, this has been a common tactic that has been used by our oppressor ever since, he invaded these lands and enslaved our ancestors. It's always been a common tactic if, you got to separate a child from, their father, from their mother, from their siblings. 'Cause, if you take away that power structure of the family from a child, and you incorporate, your own destructive ways into their life, it's never truly gonna, be beneficial for not only a child but shoot for the nation. Because our children are the main ones that are targeted by our oppressor. They are the main ones that are sought out and wanted by everybody. I'm saying CPS is nothing that is new to, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. The name, but our oppressor has always, you know, confiscated our children and claimed that we were not fit to be parents. Claim that the child was in, living in, a dangerous household or a dangerous lifestyle, which an absolute perfect example of that is boarding schools. When our oppressor would sit there and round up as many Native children as they could, claiming that parents were not fit to take care of them or to provide for them. Claiming that the children were at risk of being harmed or killed, and things along that nature. When you come to find out that the real purpose behind the boarding schools was to simply strip the future generations of, natives of their culture, I'm saying customs, language, their history, I'm saying their overall way of life as a nation. So by our oppressor just simply, taking something used before and rebranding it and, pushing, I'm saying even harder the idea of, oh, this is for the benefit of the child, that's something that our people should never accept. I'm saying we should never accept another nation stealing our babies, no matter what authority it is that they claim to have. I'm saying you won't see any other nation do so. You won't see any other nation allow for, an occupying force to come in and take their children and say that they'll raise them the right way and, tell them how to raise their children. Like you don't see that. I'm saying parents are supposed to, go to war over their babies. And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand. And so whenever all of our children are taken by CPS due to them, lying on us, saying we're not fit to take care of our babies, we're going to be staying up day and night, just wondering if our babies are safe. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be staying up day and night, making phone calls, trying to fight for our children. Because at the end of the day, we know that the children of our nation need, someone of our nation as a role model. I mean, as a leader, as someone to show them how to carry themselves. And you know, that also goes into, us being brainwashed into having this certain mentality about our oppressor and our own. Because when the schooling systems sit there and teach our children, to love our oppressor more than our own, then I mean, shoot, I'm saying us as parents, we can't help but to think that we truly fail. We sit there and think, well, damn, where the hell did I go wrong? You know what I'm saying? What can I do to fix my baby? You know what I'm saying? To lead them down the right path. Even though in our minds, the right path is, saying to love everybody. You know what I'm saying? Schools teach our children to love our oppressor. We'll sit there and say we want them to love everybody. But in reality, you know, due to us ourselves being indoctrinated, we don't even. We're gonna go ahead and get to closing announcements. Slovakia. Saying that was just a little milk. I'm saying that, as it's called, I'm saying, to introduce, our people to the truth of these scriptures right here. ISGPK security announcements. We are the ISGPK. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Book of Numbers, chapter 18 and verse 21. Book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 to 10. It means tenth in the Hebrew, Ma'ashara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund is a free will offering for priests. It's not mandatory. It's whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Saying we got the Lord's 51st annual Passover on April 9th. I'm going to get the location for you right now. It's at the Westchester County Center, 198th Central Avenue, White Plains, New York. Saying zip code is 10606. I'm saying all of these, break off camps of the ISUPK teaching a false and faulty doctrine You know what I'm saying? You are ordered by Commanding General Yohana to come together, you know what I'm saying, to report at the 51st annual Passover, you know what I'm saying, and to come back home to the truth. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or a war scarf. So we're going to get in these prayers. So imajim, which means to stand. Wupanya hakwadum means turn and face the east. We're going to start out with the Lord's Prayer. In the Hebrew, Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Quadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yahaw, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazayika, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawar, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan, Lanawu, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalakanawu, Kabawathinawu, Kasalakanawu, Kabawathayanawu, Wala'a, Tabayayanawu, Banasayawan, Abal, Hawashayanawu, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwath, Wa'ala, Wa'tapareth, Lawalamyam, Aman. The Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen. The prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, wa Yahushai, wa Yakala, wa Lahayim, Matazav Yah, Alawap Yahana, Halawapyam, Hazaranyam, Hakwatazayanyam, Hakayayayam, Wakwathian, Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, the water Amun. For the blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, it's like in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, and the listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, and death to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction, and death to the heathen, and shake loose the pockets of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment, and destruction, and death to the Edomites, and the nations, and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, posse comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift death to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the terrorists, cause them to go to and fro throughout the earth and destroy. Cause the terrorists to come against America and destroy them in their strongholds. Let America shake at the hands of the terrorists. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and kill all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that hath done it. Cause it to be spread throughout the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you. Always, so be it. Sorry. Just need to turn. It's locked. I'm going to give a salute to the brothers, men of Israel. Amazim Shabbat, Amazim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatham, Yezmatah. I'm going to give a courtesy salute to all the sisters. Amazim Shabbat, Amazim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Al Thamba Hashem Yahushua, Yezmatah. Class dismissed.